Welcome back to another edition of the most viewer interactive universe mode in WWE Games history. Welcome back to Monday Night Raw, and what a blockbuster main event. Austin, CM Punk for the first time ever in tonight's main event on Raw as War. But before all that, kicking off tonight's episode, we have got the European Championship on the line. The reigning and defending champion, Kurt Angle, taking on one half of the Hardy Boys, Jeff Hardy. Great way to kick off tonight's show. Jeff Hardy, a former hardcore champion. Jeff losing that championship not too long ago to RVD. Angle only winning this European Championship several weeks ago when he defeated Eddie Guerrero, in part with the help by Chris Jericho. Of course, we all know the feud that has developed between Jericho and Guerrero. Recently, that feud went extreme over on the ECW pay-per-view, ECW Hardcore Reunion. So if you have missed that pay-per-view, then you should definitely check it out. That is definitely the most extreme pay-per-view in WWE Games history, and on that pay-per-view it was Guerrero Jericho, this time in a table match. But enough of that. Here in the ring, Jeff Hardy, Kurt Angle, one-on-one with the World Wrestling Federation European Championship on the line. Jeff Hardy now. Oh, Kurt Angle fighting back. The Olympic gold medalist. The best wrestler arguably on this whole Universe Mode roster. Jeff Hardy though, no slouch. As I said, a former hardcore champion on this Universe Mode. Angle. Oh, big German suplex. Bouncing Hardy down on his neck. Irish whip. Oh, another one. This time a release overhead German suplex. Jeff Hardy in a bad way, but Jeff attempting to fight back. Oh, going for a vault off the ropes. Not to be Angle wise to it. As I said, Angle arguably the best technical wrestler in this Universe Mode. So Angle no slouch at all. Jeff Hardy going for the Swanton Bomb early on. Did not connect. Jeff Hardy falling on the outside of the ring. And now Kurt Angle, the European Champion, going to work on Hardy, sending Jeff's face into that announcer's table. And now both competitors are edging closer to the ring. Here he comes. Angle going top rope. Jeff Hardy. Oh, Jeff Hardy. What a counter. Kicking Angle off. Hardy now top rope. Oh, bit of a delay, but in the end hits it. That float over neck breaker. A lovely move by Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy potentially moments away from becoming the brand new European Champion. And what a great way to kick off tonight's Raw as War. But we have got plenty more to come, including that blockbuster main event. But back in the action, Hardy going for the twist of fate. Oh, countered by Angle. Hardy ducks the clothesline. And now Angle in the corner. Jeff Hardy looking great so far, and now whisper in the wind. Signature Jeff Hardy. The end could be near for Kurt Angle's European Championship reign. This is only Angle's second match in this Universe Mode. Hardy to the top rope. Oh, Hardy looking for the Swanton. Taking too long. Angle to his feet. A super belly to belly off that top rope. And now Angle, just like that, back in firm control of this one. Spoke too soon. Hardy fighting back with a big desperation neck breaker. Angle now placed back in the corner. The European Champion hasn't seemed to quite get going in this one. Hardy now being placed on the top rope. Not looking good for Jeff Hardy. What is this? Surely not. Oh, Olympic slam off the top rope. A super Olympic slam. And surely this one is over. Kurt Angle successfully retaining his World Wrestling Federation European Championship. What a great way to kick off tonight's edition of Raw. But plenty more action to come. We have got CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Champion versus champion for the first time ever in tonight's main event. And speaking of Stone Cold, he is backstage with Jerry the King Lawler. An intense promo by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin intent on becoming the first Champion of Champions champion at Bragging Rights coming up just next week. And we also found out in that promo that tonight's Austin CM Punk main event is now going to be held under no disqualification rules. So that is going to be awesome, but that is all to come. Coming up now, as you can see in the ring, HBK Scott Hall continuing this DX NWO storyline, which is going to culminate at the Bragging Rights pay-per-view. It is going to be DX's Triple H and HBK versus the NWO's Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. And as decided by Vince McMahon earlier on today, the winner of the Scott Hall HBK match is going to choose the stipulation for that contest, and that stipulation is going to be disclosed on this week's edition of Friday Night Smackdown. Earlier on in this match, HBK on the apron. Oh, but fighting back. Going top rope. Classic HBK coming up. Oh, go for the double axe handle. Cannot connect. Scott Hall with a lovely counter into that backbreaker. And now Irish whip. Sending HBK into that corner. And a big clothesline. Scott Hall, the former Razor Ramon, former IC champion, looking great early on into the early cover. Only one count, HBK kicking out. But just to update you guys on this NWO DX storyline, as I said, this is all going to come to a head at the Bragging Rights pay-per-view. But just to very briefly bring you up to speed on last week's edition of Monday Night Raw as War, HBK defeating Kevin Nash, and after that one, Scott Hall, Big Show getting involved with a 3-on-1 beatdown on HBK. We then went over to SmackDown, where it was Scott Hall versus Triple H. This time, Scott Hall getting the win for the NWO. And after that match, again, the NWO attempting a 3-on-1 beatdown. But thankfully for Triple H, Shawn Michaels and X-Pac were on hand, and the other DX members are coming out to save Triple H in that one. But tonight, as I said, Scott Hall, HBK in the ring. The winner of this match is going to be deciding the stipulation for that match coming up at Bragging Rights, which is due only next week. So guys, not long to go for Bragging Rights. And if you're not quite up to speed, Bragging Rights is going to be all three brands, Raw, SmackDown and ECW. This pay-per-view is all about cross-brand warfare, and it's all about finding out who truly is the most dominant brand in this universe mode. The main event of that show was confirmed at ECW Hardcore Reunion when RVD successfully defeated Badman Bigelow to become the ECW champion. So at Bragging Rights, in that triple threat champion of champions matchup, it is going to be ECW champion Rob Van Dam versus Raw's World Wrestling Federation champion Stone Cold Steve Austin versus SmackDown's World Heavyweight champion CM Punk. 3 champions will enter, but only 1 champion will leave. They will leave not only with their own championship intact, with the brand new Champion of Champions championship that we're going to be debuting at Bragging Rights. But not only that, the 2 losing champions of that contest are going to be having their respective world championships stripped from their possession. So 3 champions will enter, but only 1 champion will leave, and the first ever Champion of Champions champion will be crowned at Bragging Rights. But more on that shortly. Back in the action, Scott Hall, HBK, Shawn Michaels laying it all on the line. And a big splash off the top rope by Scott Hall. Did not see it too often, but it worked at that time. But not quite enough to get the pin. HBK, Shawn Michaels kicking out. After only a 2 count, this match continues. Let's not forget the classic matches these two competitors have had in the past, dating back to the first ever ladder match when it was Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon for the IC title at the time. So these two, no strangers to each other, have a long history, former buddies, now enemies. HBK again kicking out after that move. But as I was saying, these two, former friends, now enemies, all thanks to Kevin Nash originally attacking HBK back at the Armageddon pay-per-view. As this NWO DX storyline continues, off the top rope Shawn Michaels goes with that famous elbow drop to the heart of Scott Hall into the cover. Not to be, Scott Hall kicking out again. In years past, fans have always questioned who was the most dominant faction. Was it DX? Was it NWO? What would happen if these two great factions collided? Well, thanks to this universe mode, you guys can now see what will happen. It is going to be DX, NWO, bragging rights. Let's find out who the most dominant stable in wrestling history truly is. Scott Hall now with the chair. That is going to be an illegal move. Over HBK from nowhere. Sweet chin music. And just like that, Shawn Michaels with that sweet chin music out of nowhere, defeating Scott Hall. Well, that means HBK and Triple H are going to be deciding the match type at bragging rights, and they're going to be telling us that match that they have chosen on this week's edition of Friday Night Smackdown. Oh, but it appears Scott Hall is not done attacking HBK, not to be. HBK ducking it, and now HBK throwing Scott Hall out on his ass. Bragging rights coming up. DX, NWO, who truly is the most dominant faction in wrestling history. Coming up next, the Brothers of Destruction are going to be in tag team action, and as decided by you the viewers, because this is the most viewer interactive universe mode in YouTube history, you have decided the Brothers of Destruction's opponents are going to be the Dudley Boyz. Bubba Ray and Devon, multiple time tag team champions. They're actually currently the reigning ECW tag team champions. Bubba and Devon defeating Terry fucking Cactus Jack at the ECW Hardcore Reunion pay-per-view, becoming the ECW tag team champions once again. Once again, a quick plug to that show. If any of you guys missed that pay-per-view, then I highly recommend you go back and check it out. That is arguably my best pay-per-view I've ever done, and probably my favourite video I've ever done. So if you haven't yet, then feel free to go back and leave that video some love. But in the action, Brothers of Destruction, Kane and The Undertaker versus the ECW Tag Team Champions for Dudley Boyz. This match is a non-title match, but if the Brothers of Destruction can defeat the Dudley Boyz here tonight, then surely the Brothers of Destruction are going to be in line with a tag team title shot, not necessarily with the ECW Tag Team Champions, but over here on Raw with the Raw Tag Team Champions, and those Tag Team Championships currently held by HBK, Shawn Michaels and Triple H. So very interesting match this one. Four big men. We know the history between The Undertaker and Kane. They have been enemies. They have been on the same page. As you can see, currently they're on the same page. Brothers of Destruction in action on tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw as well. The Undertaker, the former World Wrestling Federation champion, losing that championship back to The Rock at the Bad Blood pay-per-view several months ago. The Undertaker not quite got back on track since that loss, but with the aid of his brother, hopefully the Dead Man is going to get back on track in this universe mode starting tonight against the Dudley Boyz. Currently, Kane and Devon, the illegal men for their respective teams, and Devon in control of the Big Red Monster. But Kane, just like that, the 7-footer fighting back, a huge clothesline, kick to the midsection. Oh, and a huge Irish whip, sending Devon down to the mat again. Irish whip. Oh, followed up by a big boot, another 7-foot Big Red Machine. Going to the top rope. We have seen this many times over the years. Big double axe handle, dropping that sledge down to the forehead of Devon Dudley. The ECW Tag Team Champions have found some worthy opponents tonight. Kane and The Undertaker, former Tag Team Champions in their own right, dominating this match early on. And now Undertaker this time going top rope, just like Kane. We have seen the Dead Man do this manoeuvre over the years, but the Dead Man too slow that time. Bubba Ray Dudley, the illegal man on the outside, getting involved, sending the Dead Man onto the mat again. Devon now getting that tag to Bubba Ray. Bubba Ray Dudley with a headlock on the Undertaker. And now another quick tag to his brother Devon. And now Devon top rope. We know what's coming. The What's Up headbutt. Devon with that huge headbutt to the groin of the Dead Man. The referee not doing too much about it, but the Dead Man fighting back completely. No selling that low blow. Big running DDT on one half of the ECW Tag Team Champions. And now Undertaker sending Devon into the ropes, but Devon fighting back. Ducks it though. Devon walking into a huge chokeslam from the Dead Man. Surely this one is over. And Kane and The Undertaker have defeated the ECW Tag Team Champions. A huge victory by Kane and The Undertaker. Surely this is going to put the Brothers of Destruction right into the tag team title hunt. The Brothers of Destruction dominant on tonight's episode of Raw. Backstage now, we have got CM Punk about to make his debut on Monday Night Raw as Warp. CM Punk, of course, the leader of the NWO, not to mention Smackdown's World Heavyweight Champion. And his opponent, Raw's World Wrestling Federation Champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin. This one is underway. Champion versus champion. World Champion versus WWF Champion. CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in a no disqualification match with senior referee Earl Hebner refereeing this one. And we are underway. Fans have asked for this match for a long time, and it is finally happening for the first time ever. Let's hope it lives up to all expectations. Early on, Austin in control of Punk in the corner, and the World Heavyweight Champion in trouble. Austin stomping the crap out of CM Punk. It was only last week Stone Cold going for a grueling match. It was Stone Cold versus The Rock, with The Rock invoking its rematch clause for that championship. That match was an I Quit match, which Stone Cold successfully defeated The Rock in, but it was a grueling match, with that match only being 1 week ago. How much that has taken out of Stone Cold Steve Austin here tonight. Both these men, of course, heading in to that huge Champion of Champions matchup coming up at Bragging Rights. This match might be champion versus champion, but one of these competitors are going to be champion for not much longer, because Bragging Rights coming up next Sunday. RVD, CM Punk, Stone Cold Steve Austin, ECW Champion versus SmackDown World Champion versus Raw's World Wrestling Federation Champion. 3 champions will enter. Only 1 champion will leave, and we will crown the debut Champion of Champions champion. But into the action, currently CM Punk in control of Austin. CM Punk, the younger of the 2 competitors, with age on his side, possibly got the energy factor, but Stone Cold got a vast wealth of experience. The veteran Stone Cold with experience on his side. But Punk remaining in control. Going to work on Austin with those clubbing elbows to the rattlesnake. Punk down under. Austin ducks it. Oh, going for a stunner. Oh, CM Punk. GTS. Going for a GTS, but Austin with that DDT. What a reversal by the World Wrestling Federation champion. CM Punk pushing Austin away. CM Punk momentarily retreating. Austin in a dazed state in the ring. CM Punk going for it from behind. Not to beat. Austin ducks it. Irish whip. Oh, a huge Austin-like spinebuster. Do not forget, guys, this one is a no disqualification match. And it looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be starting the no disqualification madness now. Clearing the announcer table. But from nowhere, CM Punk with that suicide dive to the outside. Taking Austin down again. And now Austin, we know the issues. Austin has had with those knees. Hence the 2 knee braces he usually wears. And Austin being sent into those steel steps. Punk meanwhile back in the ring with that steel chair. Austin about to follow him back in. Punk going to meet him halfway. Not to beat Austin. Top rope. Double axe handle. We do not see Austin go to the top rope too often. But it definitely paid off that time for the rattlesnake. And we have seen this before. Austin. Oh, a big pile driver. Dropping the back of CM Punk's head onto that steel chair. The World Wrestling Federation champion in control. Of course, though, this match is a no title contest because these 2 competitors' titles are going to be on the line at bragging rights. Austin win the cover, but CM Punk not ready to give in just yet. Punk again fighting back. Despite the legendary status of Stone Cold Steve Austin, do not discount CM Punk, the leader of the NWO and the current Smackdown World Heavyweight Champion. CM Punk calls himself the best in the world. Well, if he truly is the best in the world, then surely a victory in this match against Stone Cold will signify it as CM Punk hits that final cut maneuver, sending Austin back in neck first onto that chair. Wake up taunt time. Punk going to be looking for the GTS for a second time. But again, just like previously, Stone Cold Steve Austin ready for the counter into that inverted DDT. Austin now staging a comeback, big neck breaker. Punk lifeless in the ring. Austin again going top rope. What a maneuver by Austin. Putting CM Punk into the centre of the ring. Vintage Austin coming up with that big elbow drop. Classic Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin calling for it, going to be looking for that stunner. CM Punk wise to it, ducking the stunner, and now an Irish whip to Austin. Austin finding himself on the apron. And again, Austin fighting back. A big right hand to the so-called best in the world, and a second big right hand. CM Punk down to the mat. And now Stone Cold Steve Austin showing CM Punk exactly what he thinks of him. I said it before, but I'll say it again. Fans have asked for this match for a long time. People have always asked what would happen if Stone Cold Steve Austin met CM Punk in the ring. We are finally finding out now for the first time ever on tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw's War. These 2 men completely different in styles. You have got CM Punk, the straight edge superstar, and Stone Cold Steve Austin that prides himself as the beer drinking ass kicker. So these 2 men's personalities, polar opposites from each other, but one thing they do have in common is that they are champions. And the World Wrestling Federation champion could be in trouble. Unconscious on the announcer's table. CM Punk, huge elbow drop from the ring to the announcer's table, breaking Stone Cold Steve Austin in half. Austin in big trouble in this champion and champions matchup. CM Punk now doing the right thing, sending Austin back into the ring. Punk quickly following him back in with a chair in hand, throwing that steel chair down. What is CM Punk going to be doing? Surely Punk should be going for a cover. Finally does. But that delay that CM Punk did definitely costing him the match. Austin, Irish whip. Big clubbing right hand from the rattlesnake. Oh, dropping him down again with that big power slam, picking Punk back to his feet. Another Irish whip, this time in the opposite turnbuckle. Austin placing that chair down. What is Austin thinking here? Oh, this is not good for CM Punk. CM Punk on the top rope. You have got two steel chairs behind these men in the ring. And a super backdrop. Bouncing CM Punk off that steel chair. Austin into the cover. But CM Punk, with the pride of a true champion, refusing to stay down on this one. And you can see the frustration in the eyes of the Texas Rattlesnake. What is Stone Cold going to do to keep the leader of the NWO down for the 3 count? Irish whip. And CM Punk with a big power slam of his own. What a match this has been. This match has not disappointed. And it's only going to get better. CM Punk. Oh, classic Punk now. Oh, Bulldog. Punk not connecting with that chair quite as he would have liked. But I think Austin's knee bouncing off that chair. So in the end, working out quite nicely for Punk. But speaking too soon, Austin again. We know Austin, arguably the best brawler on this universe mode, will refuse to give in. And it takes a lot to keep the Rattlesnake down for the 3, as Austin is staging another comeback. But CM Punk kicking him away. Irish whip now, Austin on the outside of the ring. Of course, guys, do not forget, not only at bragging rights is it going to be Austin versus Punk, you've got to remember RVD is going to be in the mix. RVD confirming his spot in the Champion of Champions triple threat match at the ECW exclusive pay-per-view. As I'm saying that, Austin with a huge head of steam, taking CM Punk through the barricade into the crowd. What a match. Definitely not disappointed this one. But as I was saying, at ECW Hardcore Reunion, the most hardcore and extreme pay-per-view in WWE Games history, RVD confirming his spot in the Champion of Champions triple threat matchup when he defeated Bam Bam Bigelow in an extreme tables, ladders and chairs match. So RVD, Austin, Punk, next Sunday, Champion of Champions matchup. 3 champions will enter, 1 champion will leave. Who that champion will be, we will find out next week. But back in the action, CM Punk now, Irish whip, going for that kick again. Austin ducks it. Oh, Stone Cold Stunner. A huge Stone Cold Stunner onto CM Punk, the World Wrestling Federation champion, into the cover. And Austin gets it. This match has not disappointed. Austin versus Punk was awesome. This time Austin coming out on top. The World Wrestling Federation champion Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated the World Heavyweight champion CM Punk. This feud is getting better and better as we head towards bragging rights coming up next Sunday. But do not forget there is a third man in that match. That man is RVD, and RVD in the ring. A huge super kick to the chin of Stone Cold Steve Austin. RVD now going top rope. Oh, a huge 5-star frog splash. Do not forget about the whole effing show. There is going to be hell to pay for RVD. Good night, guys.